My parents never noticed me until I became the reason their lives fell apart. I spent 21 years as a ghost in a picture-perfect house, watching them treat my younger brother, Luke, like a god while I was just an unsolved problem. On my 21st birthday, I walked downstairs expecting a happy birthday. Instead, I found my dad handing Luke a luxury silver watch. "You deserve it, son," my dad said. "You've been working so hard." Luke's biggest achievement that week was hitting second base with a girl from class. I stood there, invisible, until my mother noticed my expression. "Ethan, don't be bitter," she said coldly. "It's not always about gifts." I asked about the cake I saw earlier. Luke smirked. "Oh, we ate that while you were asleep. It had my name on it." That was the snap. That night, I packed a single bag, took $50 from my sock drawer, and walked out at midnight. I didn't have a plan, but I knew I couldn't breathe their air for one more second. I ended up sleeping on a mattress in a mechanic's garage, working graveyard shifts at a warehouse, and using library computers to apply for college. I was finally free, but they weren't done with me. 2 weeks later, my high school counselor emailed me. My parents had called the school, claimed I wasn't attending college, and demanded all my transcripts be revoked. They tried to delete my future. Then came the legal letter. They officially removed me as a dependent and gave me 30 days to get my trash before they threw it out. There was a sticky note attached from my mother. "This is what consequences look like." I didn't get angry. I got clear. If they wanted to play a game of consequences, I was going to win. I started by checking the public listings for my childhood home. They had put it on the market, but I knew that house. I knew the basement flooded every time it rained because the sump pump was a disaster they refused to fix. I also found out they were forging the disclosure documents to hide the damage. I gathered the evidence, the photos, and the paper trail. I waited until they had a buyer locked in and ready to close. Then, I sent an anonymous digital package to the buyers. It contained everything: the flood photos, the fraudulent paperwork, and a simple note: "The sellers are lying. Ask about the sump pump." The sale collapsed instantly. Because the fraud was now flagged, they couldn't relist without expensive repairs they couldn't afford. They fell behind on the mortgage. The perfect life was cracking. Next, I focused on myself. I landed a full scholarship and was asked to give a speech at orientation. A local news crew filmed it. The headline read, "From Abandoned to Academic Triumph." It went viral in our town. My mother tried to comment anonymously, calling it exaggerated, but everyone knew. I was the success story they tried to sabotage. Finally, there was Luke. The golden boy was applying to top-tier universities using falsified community service hours. I sent a quiet email to the admissions boards with the real logs. "For the integrity of your program, I signed it." He didn't get in. My father showed up at my job weeks later, looking haggard. "Ethan, we can fix this. Just come home." I looked him dead in the eye. "There is no home. You burned that bridge and sold the ashes." 2 weeks later, my mom slid a letter under my apartment door, calling me harsh and saying I was punishing my family. I didn't write back. Instead, I texted her a photo of me standing on stage with my scholarship award. I captioned it, "This is what consequences look like." The house went into foreclosure. They moved into a tiny rental, 2 counties away. I graduated with honors and now mentor kids who feel as invisible as I once did. My revenge wasn't a shouting match or a physical blow. It was the silent, steady construction of a life they aren't allowed to be a part of. I wasn't the disappointment of the family. I was the escape artist.